In this hands-on, we're going to explore how LangChain's core components work together to build a simple yet powerful AI application. The code provided demonstrates how to use LangChain for a specific use case, like summarizing text, etc. Now, let's go step by step to understand how each part of the code fits into LangChain's ecosystem. First, let's understand chains. In LangChain, a chain is a sequence of operations that an LLM performs. It can be a series of prompts, models, or even external functions, all connected in a workflow. In this code, we begin by importing the necessary libraries and setting the OpenRouter API key. Then we use requests to make a direct HTTP request to verify authentication with OpenRouter. So here you can see we have installed the Python packages, requests, which is a simple HTTP library for making API requests, and LangChain OpenAI, which integrates LangChain with OpenAI's API to interact with language models like GPT. Next, we imported the OS and request libraries, where OS is used for managing environment variables, such as storing API keys. We then set the OpenRouter API key, which authenticates our connection to OpenRouter, a third-party service for handling LLMs like GPT. This key authorizes access to OpenRouter services. Following this, we test the authentication by sending a direct HTTP request to OpenRouter, ensuring the API key works correctly before proceeding with LangChain integration. The header section passes the authorization header with the API key and specifies the content type. The payload contains the actual test message to send to the API. We use the requests post function to send the post request with the URL, headers, and payload. If the response is successful and returns status code 200, then we can proceed with LangChain. The response status code shows whether the request was successful, and the response's JSON function prints the model's response to the test message. Next, we move forward with LangChain's chain. In the code, after setting up authentication, we move on to using LangChain itself. First, we need to set the environment variables. We begin by storing the OpenRouter API key and base URL in environment variables. These environment variables will be used later to authenticate the API request and communicate with the OpenRouter service. Then, we need to import the required libraries. One is Chat OpenAI and the other is Prompt Template. Here, Chat OpenAI lets us interact with OpenAI's models through LangChain, while Prompt Template allows us to create reusable and dynamic input prompts for the model, making things more consistent and cutting down on repetition. Without Prompt Template, we'd have to manually define the prompt structure every time we want to interact with the model, which can get tedious and lead to mistakes, especially when handling multiple inputs or more complex tasks. Next, we create the model instance. We instantiate the Chat OpenAI model. Here, you can see the model is set to OpenRouter Auto, and we use the OpenRouter API key and base URL from the environment variables to set up the connection. And here, the temperature is set to 0.7, which controls how creative the model's output is, making sure the responses are balanced. Next, we define the prompt template. This template tells the model to summarize the provided text. Here, the text inside the curly brackets will be replaced by the actual input when the template is used. And finally, the chain is created by combining the prompt and the model. Here, the vertical bar operator in LangChain makes sure that the output from the prompt is passed as input to the model, creating a workflow. We then run the chain with the input text to get the summary, and then we print out the generated summary. So here you can see we've generated a summary of the content provided. Now let's move on to working with agents. As we discussed in LangChain, an agent is an intelligent system that can decide which actions to take based on the input it receives. Agents can be programmed to use different tools to complete tasks. So in this code, we start by installing the necessary Python packages. First, LangChain, which is a core library that helps build workflows powered by language models. It lets us create powerful integrations with AI models, making it possible to automate a variety of tasks. Next is LangChain OpenAI. This module integrates OpenAI models like GPT into LangChain workflows, making it easier to use language models within our workflow. Then we have LangChain Community. This is an extension that adds extra tools and features to LangChain, which can be useful for more advanced use cases. After installing these packages, we import the necessary libraries. First is Chat OpenAI from LangChain OpenAI. This class lets you interact with OpenAI models like GPT. It allows us to do things like text manipulation and much more by bringing the power of OpenAI models into our workflows. Next, we start by creating the LLM that powers the agent using Chat OpenAI. This is a crucial step because we're instantiating the model that helps the agent understand tasks and generate the right responses. In this case, we're using the GPT 3.5 Turbo model, a powerful OpenAI language model known for its strong comprehension and ability to generate coherent responses. The API key is pulled from the environment variable, which lets the agent securely authenticate and interact with OpenAI's API. Next, we define the functions that the agent will use to carry out specific tasks. The first one is capitalized text. This function will capitalize the input text, turning all the characters into uppercase. The next function is reverse text. This function will reverse the input text, flipping the string around. These functions serve as tools for the agent, letting it perform the task when needed. In the next step, we define the agent's behavior with a function called agent logic. This function processes the input text and decides which function to call, either capitalize or reverse. If the input asks to capitalize, it will call the capitalize text function. If the input asks to reverse, it will call the reverse text function. The next step is testing the agent. We test the agent by asking it to do two simple tasks. Task 1 is to capitalize a sentence. Here, the agent will use the capitalized text function to turn the provided text into uppercase. Then, the next one is the reverse text function, which reverses the provided sentence. We use the agent logic function to simulate the agent's behavior, which processes the input and returns the appropriate output. So, in the output, we can see the agent has capitalized the given sentence, and it has also reversed the given sentence. So the agent has completed its task according to the functions provided. So the agent is not rule-based. It analyzes the input and chooses the most appropriate function based on the task at hand. This autonomy allows it to handle various tasks efficiently. You can easily expand the agent's capabilities by adding more functions or tasks. For example, you could add extra functions for mathematical operations, other text manipulations, or even complex workflows. Agents allow for more autonomous behavior compared to a simple prompt response system. Now let's see how the output parser works with the agent's responses. So here, first, we've imported the str output parser from LangChain core output parsers. This is a tool that helps us process and clean the raw output produced by our agent. It makes sure the output is in a readable and consistent format. First, we created an instance of the str output parser, which we called parser. This instance will be used to parse and clean the agent's responses, turning them into user-friendly text. Next, we need to parse the agent's responses using the output parser. So here, these two functions will take both responses and process them. Then, the output parser makes sure the results are clean, readable, and ready to display. Finally, we print the clean, formatted responses for both tasks. So here, parse response 1 shows the capitalized version of the sentence, and parse response 2 shows the reversed version of the sentence. The output parser makes sure the results are displayed in a clean, readable format, making them more user-friendly. It also helps clean up and format the raw output from the agent before displaying it. This is important when dealing with complex tasks or when the output might have extra spaces, special characters, or other formatting issues. It ensures that the final output is easy to read and use. The output we see here is the cleaned up version of the raw output generated by the agent. Now let's talk about memory. In LangChain, memory lets the model keep context across interactions, which is essential for building applications that need to remember previous exchanges, like conversation history. Next, we built a memory-enabled agent using LangChain's conversation buffer memory and OpenAI's GPT 3.5 Turbo model. The agent keeps context across multiple interactions, allowing it to remember previous messages and give smarter responses based on earlier conversations. We start by installing LangChain Classic, which includes conversation buffer memory, an important part for keeping track of conversation history. Then we also install LangChain's OpenAI package to interact with OpenAI's language models like GPT 3.5 Turbo. Next, you'll fetch your API key. The OpenAI API key is stored in an environment variable. This key authenticates the requests made to OpenAI's API. Optionally, if you're using OpenRouter, you can set the base URL. This is essential for authenticating and securely accessing OpenAI's language model. Without it, the model won't work. Next, you'll create the language model, or LLM. The chat OpenAI object is created and set up to use the GPT 3.5 Turbo model. The model is initialized with the API key stored in the environment variable. Next is initializing the conversation history. History is a list that stores the sequence of messages exchanged between the user and the AI. This history is essential for maintaining context in conversations, as the model will use it to generate relevant responses. At first, we add the user's initial message to the history. Storing the conversation history is crucial for keeping the context. Without this history, the model would treat each message separately, which could cause it to lose coherence in multi-turn conversations. Then comes the model invocation. The first call to the LLM.invoke function sends the conversation history, which contains the user's first message, to the model. The AI responds to this initial message, and the response is added to the history list. Then, the model's response is stored in the history as an AI message. This allows the agent to remember what it previously said. In the second user message, the user asks, "Can you remind me what I said?" So this message is added to the history, continuing the conversation context. Then comes model reinvocation with history. The model is invoked again, but this time it has access to the full conversation history, which includes both the user's input and the AI's previous response. This step allows the model to remember previous messages and generate a response based on the entire conversation, not just the current message. Finally, the AI response. The model provides a response to the user's request based on the entire conversation history. This enables the agent to reference past messages, providing more meaningful and coherent responses. This approach to memory enables the agent to maintain context, making it capable of handling multi-turn conversations with meaningful back-and-forth exchanges. You can easily extend this by adding more sophisticated memory structures or integrating more advanced features, like long-term memory for complex applications. Let's talk about loaders. So, loading and processing documents. In real-world applications, you often need to handle large data sets or documents in various formats, and LangChain makes it easy to work with them. We'll walk through loading and processing PDF and CSV files using document loaders. Let's start by loading a PDF file. In this example, we load a PDF file containing information on sustainable development and extract its contents. We begin by installing the necessary libraries and importing the PyPDF loader. Here, the loader's load method loads the PDF and returns the content as documents. Here, len of docs shows the number of pages or documents in the PDF. We display the first 300 characters of the first page's content using docs page content and the metadata to understand the context of the document, like file source and document attributes. In the output, you can see that the document contains 3 pages. The first document's text shows the beginning of the content on sustainable development, and the metadata includes details like the document source, creator, and the total number of pages. Now, let's move on to loading a CSV file using the CSV loader. This is often useful when dealing with structured data in CSV format. In this example, we load a CSV file containing order data. We use the CSV loader to load the CSV file from a given path. Then, len of documents outputs the total number of documents or rows loaded from the CSV. Next, we display the first 150 characters of the document text and its metadata, such as the source and row number. In the output, we can see that 9,800 documents were loaded from the CSV file. The first 3 document snippets show the first 150 characters of the order data, including details like order ID, order date, and customer name, along with metadata indicating the source file and row number. With the PyPDF loader, LangChain lets us extract and process content from PDFs, making it easy to convert documents into a structured format that can be fed into a general AI model. With the CSV loader, LangChain allows you to load CSV files and work directly with structured data, which can be useful for applications that require data processing or analysis. Now, let's talk about splitters. This is essential when working with large documents because it ensures the model can handle text in manageable sizes while preserving as much context as possible. In this example, we use the recursive character text splitter to break a long text into smaller, more digestible pieces. Let's take a look at the code and the output. The recursive character text splitter divides the text into chunks of 100 characters with a 20-character overlap between each chunk. This ensures that the model can maintain context across adjacent chunks. The text is processed into smaller chunks while trying to preserve sentence and paragraph boundaries whenever possible. The chunk length will show the total number of chunks the text has been divided into. Each chunk is printed out to show how the long text is broken down into manageable pieces for processing. So in the output, you can see that the long text has been split into 3 chunks. The first chunk contains the beginning of the explanation. The second chunk continues the explanation, and the third chunk completes the thought. Here's how the chunks are printed. The total number of chunks printed here is 3, which means the original text was split into 3 manageable parts. Each chunk shows a portion of the original text, with overlapping characters between adjacent chunks to maintain context and coherence.
If you enjoyed this video, you can enroll in Great Learning Academy for free. Choose from hundreds of courses across multiple domains and earn a certificate of completion along the way. And if you want to take it a step further, you can try Great Learning Academy Pro Plus with a free trial. It provides access to additional premium courses with more advanced content from distinguished faculty, along with features like guided projects, a resume builder, and mock interviews to make your learning journey even richer. Link is in the description.